What's up, guys? Jim coming at you with my first video on the channel. Today we're going to be ranking all the NFL teams on a tier list. The categories are Super Bowl contenders, playoff contenders, good, needs work, and terrible. All the categories are really self-explanatory. Don't really need to explain them, so let's just dive right into it. I have organized these by division. So we have the AFC North, East, West, South, and same thing for the NFC. But we're starting off with the Cleveland Browns. They are playoff contenders. I'm not going to say Super Bowl yet. I'm not going to say Super Bowl yet, but I think they're definitely getting in that range. Their roster does suggest that they are Super Bowl contenders. I don't know if they are just yet, though, but they are getting close to it. Moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals. The only reason I'm going to put them in terrible, I don't really have any hard feelings against the Bengals, despite being a Ravens fan. If you did not know that, which you probably don't, but the Bengals have good players at certain positions. It's just that O-line, man. That O-line is so terrible. Their best player right now on that O-line is Jonah Williams, and maybe even a rookie out of Clemson, Jackson Carman. That's just, it doesn't work like that, man. You got to protect Joe Burrow, and what the Bengals are doing is just not right. Now, this is gonna be maybe a biased, maybe not. I'm a Ravens fan, so yeah, but I think the Ravens are playoff contenders. I don't think this is surprising to you at all. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders because they just never seem to win in the playoffs. They always do so good in the regular season, and they just fail to do so in the playoffs. But just because the AFC does have some really competitive teams in there, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, who we'll be getting to in a minute, but those teams are competing for a Super Bowl right now, and the Ravens just aren't because of the competition, and their hard schedule this upcoming season isn't really going to help either. Moving on to the Steelers, man, the Steelers are, I think they're good. Again, maybe biased. I don't think it is. Because the Steelers, Mike Tomlin has not had a losing season. All right, that's an actual stat. And the Steelers are probably going to have a winning season, this upcoming season. Is that saying that they are going to make the playoffs? I don't think so. Because you look at how they did in the final games of last season, they lost most of their games. They went 1 and 5, I think, after starting off the season 11 and 0. That's disgusting. That's absolutely terrible. But I don't think they need work. I think their roster suggests that they have a good team. I think they are going to have a winning record. I just don't know if they're playoff contenders this upcoming season. Bills, they are Super Bowl contenders. No one can tell me otherwise. All right, the Bills are Super Bowl contenders. Josh Allen is a definite MVP candidate. All right, the Bills have a very good team. They're reaching that status of nearly unbeatable. I wouldn't say they are, though. I think they are going to lose a couple of games. But yeah, the Bills are definitely Super Bowl contenders. I don't really think that's a surprise or a shock to any of you out there. Next up is the New England Patriots, and I think they are definitely playoff contenders. I don't think this is another surprise because they improved their team so much in free agency, signing Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, um, Matthew Judon. The list goes on. They even replaced their receivers with Kendrick Bourne, and they already had Jacoby Myers, obviously, and they have Nelson Aguilar. Damian Harris was kind of undervalued, if I'm not, mistaken. Damian Harris is undervalued. He was pretty good last season. The Patriots are definitely playoff contenders. Not Super Bowl contenders anymore, but still playoff contenders. The Jets are terrible, all right? Zach Wilson apparently has been struggling at training camp for some reason. I get that, he's going to make some rookie mistakes. The Jets just don't have a defense, man. They have a good defensive line. They have Quinnen Williams. I think they signed Sheldon Rankins and Carl Lawson. I approve of those signings. I really do. Jared Davis, who I think is the bust, by the way, drafted in 2017. I don't like him at all. CJ Mosley is coming back, but he's a huge cap casualty. I think he's getting paid like $17 million a year, which is absolutely ridiculous. And then that secondary gets even worse. I think Marcus May practically requested a trade, so that's the best player in their secondary pretty much potentially gone. And They don't really have any players at corner. I don't know if Bryce Hall is really that starting caliber player. So yeah, but the Jets just they're terrible just because they don't really have that much of a defense. O-line's progressing, receivers progressing with a lot, of course, Elijah Moore. Quarterback hopefully is progressing, and running back is pretty good as well. The Jets have a decent offense. It's just that defense again, just that defense. Dolphins. They are in one of the more competitive divisions in the NFL. All right, and that's the only reason why I'm not going to put them in playoff contenders. But I do think, judging by how that defense played last season, they're definitely playoff contenders. Just again, just that division, just that division. It's actually hard competing with the division with the Bills and the Patriots, who are both going to be probably making the playoffs this upcoming season. I don't know. The Dolphins, though, are good. I hope Tua Tagovailoa progresses from his rookie season. Didn't look too impressive, but I think he will. I think he will. Chiefs, I mean, do I really need to talk about them? Unreal offense with probably the most uncoverable receiving core in the league right now. They have two speedsters in Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman. Travis Kelce is obviously unbelievable. He had 1,400 yards this past season. And Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. Again, don't really need to talk about him. It's that defense that kind of concerns me, but they also have Tyrann Mathieu. They have sack specialist Chris Jones. And while Frank Clark is getting severely overpaid, he is still decent. So I can't really say the Chiefs are anything but Super Bowl contenders. Chargers. I think they're definitely playoff contenders, but I'm going to put them in good because from what I saw from them last season, they are very, very good at blowing leads. And that's just the only thing. If they can just hold on to the leads, man, they would be unbelievable. Brandon Staley could turn things around, with that pretty exciting defense featuring Derwin James, Chris Harris Jr., Joey Bosa, but of course Uchenna Nwosu. But I don't know, man. They just need to hold on to their lead, and maybe they can actually make the playoffs. The Raiders, they need work. They need a ton of work. All right. Whoever tells you that the Raiders don't need work and they're a perfect team, don't don't believe them. All right. Don't believe them. The Raiders just they need help on defense. Don't really have that good of a linebacking core, and they had the chance to draft Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, but instead they decided to draft Alex Leatherwood. I don't get that. I don't get that. The Raiders have always drafted some unnecessary players or the fastest player. It's the wrong approach, and they're not really doing anything for their receivers. Henry Ruggs did not look good in his rookie season, but Josh Jacobs, they're going to pound and run every single play, and that's not the way it works. Yes, they have Darren Waller, but other than that, they don't really have anyone else. They signed Willie Snead and John Brown, two very average receivers. Broncos, they need work. Their roster is good. Their defense, especially, they just don't have a quarterback. All right, if they have a quarterback, a lot of their things will be solved. But they don't have a quarterback, and that's the problem right here. Right, that's the problem. Teddy Bridgewater is average at best. Drew Lock is Drew Lock. He's Drew Lock. All right, that's all the explanation I need to give you. He's Drew Lock. Colts, they're good. If Carson Wentz could stay healthy, maybe they would be playoff contenders. I would assume they would have been if Carson Wentz did not get injured, but it looks like Sam Ellinger is competing for the starting job, and that's never good when you have a what? Was he a sixth round pick? Yeah, I think it was a late sixth round pick starting for you, so that's not very good. Jags. All right, look, their record hasn't been good, but they have a good roster. And that's the thing here. Do I put them in terrible when I know that they're just not able to get wins? And of course, Trevor Lawrence coming in there, Travis Etienne being a good receiving back for them, that could really change a lot. So I think the Jags, I'm going to put them in needs work because they do need a ton of work, especially at that safety position. The safety position is so bad. Rayshawn Jenkins, fine, I guess. I don't know. Jared Wilson, I don't like. Andrew Wingard, maybe. I don't know, man. The Jags just need help at safety. Titans, I think they're definitely playoff contenders. After the signing of Julio, or after the trading, should I say, of Julio Jones, the Titans do look like a playoff contender again. It's that defense that you just can't expect an injury-prone corner in Caleb Farley and a third-round pick in Elijah Molden to help you boost that secondary. Yeah, they have Kevin Byard. They don't really have anyone else. And Caleb Farley is a guy with high upside. You don't know if he's even going to stay healthy. So there are problems with that secondary. Next up is the Texans. We're not talking about them. Packers. Dude, I wish I could put them in Super Bowl contenders, man. They always lose out in the conference. They always do. I'm still going to put them there because I do think their roster as a whole is a Super Bowl contender. It's just that stupid coaching staff can't actually make it past the conference. What can I say, man? What can I say? The Bears, they need work. They do need work. All right. Andy Dalton, I don't like. Right? That's why Justin Fields will be starting probably around mid-season. I like David Montgomery. Their O-line's decent. They're just overall a decent team, but they just can't manage to get wins. All right? And that's the only reason why I didn't put the Jags in good. Same reason. They just can't get wins. They need to start getting wins, and maybe they're going to be a good team and potentially a playoff contender in some time. We will see. Lions. Again, not talking about them. Maybe I will, briefly. Um, they have no receivers. They have TJ Hawkinson. DeAndre Swift had an up and down rookie season, but it's that they don't have any corners. I think they just signed Nikel Roby Coleman, but they don't really have any corners. Their defense sucks. Offense sucks. They would be the worst team in the league if not for the Texans, all right? But the good thing about them, they have picks. Problem is that's from one of the best teams in the league in the Rams. So, I feel bad for them. Vikings, they're good. Kirk Cousins is actually undervalued, all right? People always say that he sucks. I don't understand where you're getting at here, man. Kirk Cousins is a guy who's going to put up consistent numbers with like 42, 4,300 yards and 35 touchdowns. Only problem with him, he's going to throw 15 interceptions and he's getting massively overpaid. That's the only problem with Kirk Cousins. Turnovers and payment. That's all. All right, Kirk Cousins is undervalued, but the Vikings have a good team. I don't know if they're just playoff contenders just yet. That's all. Washington football team. This is an interesting one. I think they're good. I don't know if they're really playoff contenders, but they are pretty decent. All right, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that because they have a really, really good defensive line. Jamin Davis could do good, could do bad. We don't know. Um, Quarterback is probably their main issue, but running back they have Antonio Gibson, so that's not bad at all. I just think that the football team are overall good. It's just quarterback maybe that just really bogs them down, in my opinion. Giants, they need work. They have no quarterback in because Daniel Jones sucks. Evan Ingram can't catch the ball for his life, so he sucks. It was a good signing in Kyle Rudolph. He can catch the ball and he can block, but I don't know how good he will be for the Giants necessarily. What else can I say, man? The Giants are probably gonna have like 5 to 6 wins this season, right? It's, I guess they're fine. I don't know. They need work. They need a ton of work. Cowboys, they're good. The only reason I don't put them in playoff contenders, their defense. All right, their defense needs so much work. It's unbelievable. Okay, Keanu Neal playing linebacker, I don't really know about that, but I guess I can see where they're coming from. I don't know, man. The Cowboys, it's just their defense. It's just their defense. Eagles, they're terrible. All right, I'm sorry to all you Eagles fans out there. The Eagles are terrible. Jalen Hurts, fine with me. I don't really, you know, care about what happens with him or not. Miles Sanders is fine. On Johnson's a good backup. They have really no receivers except for Devontae Smith. Travis Fulgham was their leading receiver. Travis Fulgham. I'll be honest, he's a guy who I never even knew existed until this season. Travis Fulgham. Zach Ertz is regressing. They have Darius Slay. They have no linebackers then. They have Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox. Not really anyone else. So Eagles, they're terrible. They just have really good positions at some places and really bad at others. And that's the only reason they're terrible. Cardinals, I think they're good. Every single season, I feel we're gonna say, "Oh, this is the year Kyler Murray leads them to the promised land," and they go 8-8, or in this case, 8-9. It's just, I hope that doesn't happen, all right? Because I hope we don't overvalue the Cardinals, right? Because we do, and I even do. I have done it before. I say, "Oh, this is the year the Cardinals are gonna make the playoffs," and they don't, and they don't. It's I hope Cliff Kingsbury isn't in the hot seat. I think he's a pretty good head coach. Cardinals are a good team. They just need, again, they're the team that has a good roster. They just need to accumulate wins. Rams, Super Bowl contenders. They lost a lot of players. Not a lot. John Johnson III going is a huge loss, though. Cam Akers obviously is out for the entire season, which is a huge injury because I think he looked great in his rookie season. I don't know, man. The Rams, though, have a pretty complete roster. Jalen Ramsey, Darius Williams was a breakout star. Managed to re-sign Leonard Floyd somehow. I don't know how, but they did. They have Aaron Donald. Matthew Stafford is, I think, an upgrade over Jared Goff. They have a good offensive line. Not good. Average at best, all right? Average. Their overall team is pretty complete, though. They don't really have any missing pieces. Moving on to the Seahawks, they're definite playoff contenders. They're another team like the Steelers who are just probably not going to have a losing record whilst Russell Wilson is there. I don't know after Russell Wilson retires or leaves, I don't know where the Seahawks will be placed. The Seahawks just don't have an O line. They have good defensive pieces in Bobby Wagner and Jamal Adams. Bobby Wagner is getting older. Jamal Adams is not really getting interceptions, but he can sack. I don't know, man. The Seahawks are, but always will remain playoff contenders, though. 49ers. This may be a little bit weird, but I do think they are playoff contenders. Their roster suggests it. It's just if they can stay healthy, like their entire team, they will be playoff contenders, and it's not even close to them being not a playoff contender. I phrased that wrong. I phrased that wrong so bad, but whatever. You get what I mean. Falcons, they're terrible. All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They have no Julio Jones. They don't really have a defense, I'll be honest. They blow leads, and with an even worse Falcons team than last year, we'll expect them to be blowing more leads than 28-3 in the Super Bowl 51, all right? They're going to be blowing 51-point leads next. Panthers, they're good. I think quarterback could be better. Sam Darnold, has not been that good whilst in his career in New York, but the Panthers do have a decent quarterback who I hope has a bounce back season here in Sam Darnold. They have good weapons, they have a good defense. They just need to start winning games. All right, they need to start winning games. Next up is the New Orleans Saints. They're good. All right, they have a good uh coaching staff. Their quarterback, I don't know, leaves a lot to be determined. I don't know. They have a pretty decent defense. Peyton Turner was an interesting first round pick, but this overall the Saints, I don't know about them, man. I don't know if they're going to be playoff contenders or if they're going to be terrible or if they're just going to be middle of the pack. The Saints are a really, really weird team to predict their future right now. But yeah, I think they're a good team still just because of their coaching staff and Alvin Kamara. And last but not least, to cap off this one, the Buccaneers are Super Bowl contenders. They have a really complete roster. They don't really have holes at any position. All right, they're probably gonna repeat. I hope they don't because I don't like Tom Brady. All right, but maybe if there are Super Bowl contenders, and maybe they win the Super Bowl again. I hope not, but because it's just be gonna be boring. But still, maybe they are. But thank you guys so much for watching. Again, this is a new channel, so I hope you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.